meeting, like I was with Arsh in CP.
Hello.
Hello. हेलो। ये हमारे ऑफिस के और है पूजा भंडारी, प्रदीप कुमार सिंह। Hello.
Hi, good evening. This is Karuna here.
Good evening, madam.
Good to have you all here. We'll wait for a couple of minutes, maybe a minute or two, and then start off. So, good afternoon, all of you. I have Praveen with me as well. Sorry, I'll just stop sharing the PPT. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
And we're happy to have so many people for this workshop. I have Praveen with me, who would be leading the workshop for us today. And just to give a brief introduction about him, Praveen has 20 years of experience in the field of marketing, and as a business leader, he's been highly accomplished with a great background of working for great brands like Microsoft, DNB, and Arvato. Right now, he runs a company called The Tech Company, which deals into a lot of marketing related solutions. So, welcome, Praveen.
Thank you, Karuna, and good evening, everyone. Hope you are able to see me and hear me as well.
I would request all of you to please mute your speakers, and we would start off with the session. The flow of the session would be such that we would ask you to hold on to the questions towards the end of the session, where we will help you with a lot of, we'll have time to take care of the queries. So out of the 1 hour that we have, we will spend going through the discussions for, let's say, 35 to 40 minutes, and keep 15 minutes approximately for queries, handling queries. Does it make sense, Praveen, or would you want to add?
Absolutely. I think, yeah, that's the right way to do. Participants can put up their questions in chat also while we are presenting,
Yes.
such that in the interim, we also take up some of the questions and answer it for you. And of course, there is as Karuna rightly mentioned, we are going to be having a 10 to 15 minutes of Q&A session towards the end. So on that note, I think we should get started, Karuna.
Yes, please. I'm happy to start off with this. And again, welcome to all of the 48 participants right now. I can see there are more people that continue to keep joining in as we are starting off with the workshop. Praveen, just to set the background, I really loved the word frugal marketing because, and I could relate to it very well because I've been into HR for around 17 years, out of which 15 years were part of the corporate sector. Since the last 2 years, I've been into my own HR consulting. And I always thought of marketing myself better. However, I always felt it's very technical. How would I do my social media marketing? How do I use and put budgets to the best optimum way? And those were always the questions that kept in coming in. And with today's times, with everybody wanting to do digital marketing, I felt, I also felt that would it be a lot about bragging myself by putting so much of stuff on social media, so much of content on social media. So with all those questions that I had, I think for the audience, I would like to share that Praveen helped me out a lot on those thoughts. And we thought of going ahead and doing a workshop to help more people who would like to learn about this concept and utilize their resources effectively. So over to you, Praveen, with that context, a lot of questions that all of us would have, I'm sure. So let's go ahead and take up the workshop ahead.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Karuna, for setting the context. So when Karuna and I got into discussion that what should be the topic around these times and what should we pick up, we felt frugal marketing would be a right topic to pick up right now because we have entered a zone for last 1 month that we are basically going through some unprecedented times thanks to the lockdown resulting from COVID-19 in India and worldwide. A lot of companies are forced to halt, screech and break, and that is also making a lot of people worry about their immediate and near-term finances. They are also trying to figure out what should we do next, and there are so many questions in everyone's mind. But interestingly, these are also the times when brands can actually recapture the imagination of their target audience. They can actually go and engage out digitally or otherwise if they do it in a right way. And I have my reminiscence of 2008 slowdown. That was the time when US-led slowdown was percolating in India also. A lot of companies were firing people left, right, center. There were a lot of strategy change, etc. So we thought this is the right time, and we have some learnings from those era also. So without wasting much time, I wish to dive into the presentation. My expectation is that from today's session, people should be able to understand what is frugal marketing all about. B, how can we do marketing ourselves for our brand, for our organization, for ourselves without really spending disproportionate money or in some cases any money for that matter. And whatever money I'm spending, how do I get the most out of it is something that should be the key takeaway from today's session. Along with that, we will also talk about some of the tools, some of the technology that you can use very effectively in getting your brand out there in the market and start building engagement with consumers. And of course, we end it with the fact that yes, with the combination of some of the technologies that is available to us at our disposal, along with weaving out the complete story, how best can we project our brand out there without really spending disproportionate money. So on that note, I move to the next slide. So like I was saying, current times are unprecedented situation, and these unprecedented situations are making companies forcibly stop the work, lay off people, and so on and so forth. But these are the times which are also very important for a brand to rethink about how do they communicate and position themselves in the market. So I would wish to begin with sharing a very small finding, which is courtesy Edelman Trust Barometer 2020. The Edelman brings out the study every year, and timing couldn't have been better this year because in these times, we are basically talking about how can brands maintain trust during coronavirus situation. Uh, Broadly, Edelman recommends four things: show up and do your part. So brands have vital roles to play. Now they just cannot disappear from the radar, but they have to show up and use all their resources creatively to make a difference. And we'll talk about it how. You don't have to necessarily act alone. You got to be collaborating with other people, your partners, your suppliers, your customers, or maybe sometime your competitors to join hands. And most critically, if you can contribute towards an act or a mission of the government, absolutely that is going to take your brand to be remembered for perhaps years to come after this incident is over. Most importantly, these are the times for you to solve the problem and just don't sell, which means that brands should not get myopic and short-sighted. They must talk about the fact that yes, we are here to solve some of your problems. This is how we can help you fix some of your things basis your brand's positioning, your product portfolio, etc. Of course, if you can't solve, you can't solve. And lastly, communication with empathy, emotions is very, very important. Your employees, your suppliers, your customers must feel reassured that this brand is worth its commitment. I wish to basically engage with this brand because they have stood up in these difficult times. Now, on that note, COVID-19 and frugal marketing are the classic combinations right now, for the simple situation that we are in a zone where we are facing a situation of degrowth. We are facing a situation of forced recession, as I would call it. And this is something which could take perhaps a few quarters, maybe a year or more, to show any signs of recovery. Network effect is the strongest in such times. What does this mean? Well, the amount of time people are spending online, the amount of behavioral change that people are showing in terms of willing to go online and collaborate, donate, stand up for a cause is fantastic. Be it at a society's Facebook group level or for that matter, a company's page, people are showing that, yes, we want to contribute towards a cause. Online presence over on-ground presence. A lot of brands, a lot of participants today in this session would be traditional B2B players. They could be coming with a manufacturing background, or they could be the traditional players who have a pure play on-ground presence perhaps. But online has become rather life essential for most of the brands today. And there is no better time to get online than now, for the simple fact that your consumers have also shifted their behaviors, and for the simple fact that a lot of people who never knew what Zoom stands for are into this kind of a call, tells us that there's a behavioral shift in the consumers also. And some of these changes would remain permanent in the times to come, even when this pandemic is over. Since I spoke about online, I thought I'll quickly bring up some important facts about what does online mean for India. So here is a latest resource that I would wish to present to you. This was a study done by Hootsuite, which is a social listening platform, along with VR Social. And the figures are pre-COVID, but very recent, which is Jan 2020. So in a sense, if I talk about India, India is a country of 1.37 billion people, out of which close to 34% people are living in urban landscapes. Urban landscapes could be your large cities, your smaller towns, mini metros, and any, for that matter, any city which has a substantial population out there. Today, India has 1.06 billion mobile phone connections available to them. Now, again, it's not a 1:1 mapping, guys. Clearly, someone like me would own two mobile phones. I may also have an iPad at home, which would have a SIM, etc. So even if we were to take the coverage, easily 50 to 60% of India's population today is connected with a mobile phone device. When we look at internet users, today there are close to 687 million internet users in India, which is roughly 50% of India's population. According to some telecom experts, India's mobile internet penetration, largely led by mobile, is going to be 85% plus in next 2 to 3 years time frame, which is by 2023. Thanks to Jio and others who have really got into the fast track mode to bring that coverage, I would not be surprised if this turns out to be true by 2022 itself. Most importantly, with excess of mobile phones, mostly smartphones, internet connectivity, there is also a massive upsurge of social media usage in India. There are close to 40 crore people who use social media very, very actively, which is 29% of India's population. Now, all of this combined, there is no better time for brands to rethink their strategy, and being online, being digital is something which is rather, which is equivalent to having a signage for your office outside your office, if I could relate to that. So moving further, understanding what frugal marketing is all about. Now, frugal marketing can be best explained by saying that I carry out my marketing activity with limited budgets and limited resources. I emphasis on doing things all by myself, which is do it yourself. And culturally, we Indians are not used to doing anything, but these times are again teaching us how to do our own stuff now, and that too very, very well. And need to collaborate and network. How do I generate word of mouth for my brand? How do I bring in influencer marketing or influencers who could be my customers, partners, perhaps some of my best wishers, well-wishers to talk about my brand? So in today's session, we will cover all of these aspects. And the way we have structured is that we are breaking down our frugal marketing into 4 components today. A, if I were to get into the direction of doing my own marketing, how can I design my own content, or can I design my content at first place? When I create my content, do I have the competencies to create my online presence? Online presence just not by having a website, but even if need be, going the e-commerce way, doing social selling, building dialogues online is something that we would try and touch upon today. How can I go social? So just by having a social media account or just a page is not sufficient. What should I do to gain enough traction through those pages for my brand? What do I post? What do I promote through my social media channels is something which is very, very important. And how do we do it? And lastly, how do I measure the impact? Everything goes into a waste if I can't measure what I'm doing right now. And when we talk about measure, again, it is nothing complex. Most of the resources are available to you at a click of a mouse. And we will also look at some of those aspects, that how do you measure impact when you start doing frugal marketing yourself, prima facie using internet and online. So diving into it, so I would begin with designing your own content. Now, technology is a big booster to even content design today. There are a lot of tools available which can actually help you convert your simple slides into a beautiful video. You could look at some freewares to generate banners for your social media posts. You could do a lot of activities with even Microsoft PowerPoint and Adobe. And some of these things comes practically free of cost or at a zilch of a cost that one can think about. So before I get into this, I wish to quickly show you a video, and this video was created or edited in the home of somebody I know. And I wish to show you this video and it will and have a look at this video and tell me that what is your impression about this video. Are you able to get the sound? Let me know.
No sound.
Okay, so in the interest of time, just look at the slides itself. So a brand like Exigo is known for creating some awesome content, very, very impactful, crisp content. And you can go and check out for this video on YouTube or on their website also. So very simply put, as you have seen, Exigo has put up some video clips from Twitter, and they have given due credit to those people in those specific frames. All they have done is to stitch this video together. They have created a poetry from, and there is a voiceover which is similar to Farhan Akhtar's voice, talking about a poem which was very famously narrated in one of the movies that came a few years back. So likewise, this video practically costed Exigo 0 rupees to convert into a video like this and release it. And within days of releasing, they have got thousands of views on social media and YouTube platform. What it takes to create a video like this. You don't need to be an expert, you don't need to be an editor, but sometimes just getting things together in terms of short videos using a free video maker. If you are using Windows 10 and above devices, there is a movie maker feature available within the photo gallery of your PC, and I'll quickly give you a demonstration of that as well. And you can create something which is awesome, which has professional look and can help you create something for your brand. So when it comes to designing your own content, all you need is a story. Story is important because you should be very clear with yourself that what is it that I wish to communicate across to the people, my customers, my target audience. What should be the tone? I should define my tone. Is my brand a very serious one? Am I willing to take that punt with humor? Am I willing to go in the market with certain politically incorrect statements, and so on and so forth? And all you need further is tools to create some awesome content. PowerPoint, Canva, Adobe Spark, most of them are practically free. But even if you were to take a subscription of Microsoft Office 365, that comes for as low as 5,000 rupees per annum. Canva, most of the features are free, but even if you were to take a pro option of it, you hardly spend a few hundred or thousand rupees. Uh, on this note, I wish to quickly show you one of the videos that I myself has created just for a general hobby perspective. And I wish to play this video again for you. I don't know if sound will play out or not. But there's just a music in the backdrop. So a video like this practically can be created using a PowerPoint, and I'll quickly show you how. I'll move out of this presentation mode. All you need to do, so this is the PPT deck that I was talking about to you. All you need to do is to go to File, Save As, and there is a feature called MP4. So all you need to do is to save it in an MP4 version, and bingo, your music video, your video file is ready. So once you save it in a folder, there is a feature in Windows which allows you to basically pick up your pictures and create a movie out of it. I wish to again quickly show you that. So under the section of videos, you can actually go and create your own videos from here. So if you, like I said, if you're using Windows, you can look at Movie Maker. There is under the section of films, video editor, I'm sorry. And under the video editor, it allows you to basically create your own video projects. You can pick up your own pictures, you can pick up your videos and stitch them together into a beautiful movie. So I'm not wasting time here. Explore it yourself. I'm available on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out to me should you need any help. So even adding a soundtrack to it, adding some free pictures, adding music clip, all of that is possible when you create video clips using a feature like this.
Praveen,
So
are you saying that using a PPT, we can actually create a video?
absolutely, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. So would you like to quickly just take a 30 seconds and just take us step by step so that the audience kind of notes it down that what are the
Yeah,
steps
sure.
they should take?
So all I'm doing is I'm clicking on new video project. I can add to my library from here. So as you can see, I can import any file from here. And all I'm doing is that I'm giving a title to it. We are calling it Showcase. I have to add something to my storyboard. So I'm adding project to things. So I'm picking up any MP4 file that I would have converted. So as you have recently seen that I have converted a particular PPT into an MP4 file. So I go to my documents, I select my PPTs, I look at the MP4 files that I may have created. And let's say this was a particular top books was my video. I open it here. Once it is added, I can have multiple such videos stitched together, Karuna, or I can just have one. I can just simply drag and drop to my storyboard. I can even add a title card to end or start a particular video. So when I say a title card, it allows me to put up a title like this. And once I type here, I am just kind of, give me 1 second. So I can edit my title card. I can put up the text here. I can select the format and sample movie. And I select a particular layout. Done. There is a clip here and I can finalize my video. I can actually add a background music to here to this. There are some sample musics that are available that is provided to you by Windows. You can just add one of the sample tracks, or you have an option to add your own custom video audio to it. So if you have a specific audio that you wish to add, which could be a voiceover file, so you may want to do a voiceover and you can just add the clip from here. Once it is done, so let's say I'm quickly adding a soundtrack. Sync your videos to the music beat. So basically the video images will change as per the beat. Done. I can test it out here.
So do we call it Windows Movie Maker?
Windows Movie Maker, or you can go to video editor also, and you can adjust the speed, do the filtration and all of these things. Once you're done, all you need to do is to click finish video. You can select the rendition, high, low, medium in terms of resolution, export, and there you go. Your video is ready.
So nice. Just one more question, Praveen, on this, that when I create my PPT,
Yeah.
A couple of things. Where do I get images from? And also, where do I, if you could show where can I convert it into an MP4 item?
Sure. So I'll quickly show you that as well. I'm on a PPT like this. As you can see, this is 1 second. This was my PPT I was talking about. All I have to do, Karuna, is to go file, save as. When I select save as, instead of PPTX mode, I select MPEG4 video mode. Can you see here?
Yes, that's super easy.
And that's super easy. Once you have selected this option and save, it saves into a MP4 or a movie format.
Any particular suggestions for Mac users?
All you need to have is an Office 365 license for this to use all of these features. And on a pirated version, it might not work. And we all know what it takes to buy an Office 365 license. It works seamlessly on Mac as well as Windows PC. Some of the images are also free. So they have a huge stock images library. And this is also going to help you improve your PPTs, by the way, people. So all you need to do is you can pick up stock images which are in abundance. It can be searched basis the categories. You can select a theme like a teamwork. It could be technology. So there are a variety of themes basis which these stock images are available and free to use. I can actually use cutout of people also in my images, in my PPTs like this. I can use icons, I can use stickers. So there are variety of things that I can actually use in my PPT and give it a professional look. All right, so we move further into our presentation today, and thank you, Karuna, for bringing up that question.
Pleasure, Praveen.
All right, so that was a quick tip about how can you create your own content. Canva or Adobe Spark also gives you that kind of an opportunity. I'm not utilizing or time for showcasing something like that. Otherwise, we would need 2 hours to do a session like this. How do you create your presence online? The simplest way is do your own website. But before you start doing your own website, you should think, what do you aim to communicate? Second important aspect when you do your own website is simplicity, fluidity, and user friendliness. Because today internet is a jungle. There are millions of websites. There are thousands of websites getting added every hour to the space of internet. And when you are doing some of these things, you got to be keeping in mind that who am I talking to? And today my audience is mobile first. Anything that I access is from my mobile. So is my website mobile compatible or not? I have to also ensure that my website is discoverable, which is when I'm doing so much of work to create my own presence, is it discoverable? Would Google track it? Would people be able to discover basis keywords, etc., which is search engine optimization? Again, just like for you to create content, you have a lot of tools and websites available which gives you ready to use templates. WordPress is the most common and simplest form of going online with your website, but Wix, GoDaddy, and several other players offers you the complete package of hosting, picking up a theme, creating your own website, and so on and so forth. So we have all the options from these players. And when we talk about discoverability, there are two ways. You appoint someone who can advise you to do your SEO in a certain way, or if you still don't wish to outsource or bring in anybody who is an SEO specialist to do it for you, all you need to do is to do it yourself. How? Very simply put, there are packages available for SEO starting from 499 rupees per month from GoDaddy and some of these players itself. So when you are setting up your website, even these players will help you find the right keywords. They will help you track the rankings. They will pick up or suggest certain keywords basis your competitor or industry. And bingo, some of these things are pre-programmed into your website for discoverability as well. Any questions? I'll just pause here and take a few questions if anyone has any questions.
Praveen, would you share a little bit about what does search engine optimization mean? I am not sure if some of our audiences understand that.
Certainly. So search engine optimization is a very, very simple yet important process. It has to do with the fact that my website's content has to have metadata, both in terms of titles, metadata descriptions, certain keywords that should feature into my website, which are relevant to my business, but are also most often searched on internet. So once you have your sitemap done, and when you have these meta titles and meta descriptions being added to your website, and it's easier said than done, I wouldn't agree to that statement. You yourself can do it with some or basic training, and that makes your website discoverable over a period of time. So SEO is just not putting up the right keywords and hoping to be on the top of the page. Of course, there's a fair amount of work that goes into it. You have to refresh your content, you have to have enough backlinks of your website, etc. But we'll take up in greater details in some other sessions when we do a digital marketing fundamental session, Karuna.
Hi, Karuna. Can we have these slides emailed to us later on?
We will have the video recording available.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So moving further, now that you have learned how to create your own content, how can you create your website in the simplest possible way, time is now to go social. And this is one of the section which is closest to my heart, because we've done a lot of experiments ourselves as an organization. I have worked with a lot of friends and associates who are home bakers, who are home entrepreneurs, and we have helped them go online, and they are doing a brisk business today thanks to their social media presence that they have been able to create very, very impactfully. So why is social media important? While we all know we are all hooked onto our smartphones, but the fact of the matter remains that today an average Indian spends about 2.25 hours per day on social media. And by the way, this is pre-COVID. I'm sure during these days this figure would have further gone up. We are not at the top. Filipinos are the ones who use social media for about 4 hours. India is tagged at perhaps 6th or 7th rank in this tally. Facebook. We all love Facebook, isn't it? But Facebook is popular for not only its simplicity, but also the network effect that it brings to the table. Again, here are some important facts about Facebook as recent as that of January 2020. Today, Facebook is having 1.95 billion accounts or people hooked on to Facebook, which is bigger than India's population. 32% of targeted audience are in the age bracket of 13 to 18. Yeah, it is a surprise. I always thought that it was 18 plus, but a few years back, Facebook has allowed, or they have lowered the age for someone to come online with Facebook. So if you are trying to target children who are in the age bracket of 13 to 18, do it meaningfully, do it responsibly, because Facebook will never let promote a cigarette or a tobacco or a liquor brand to this category of children. But if you have a meaningful conversation to strike with them around online education, sports, gaming, or those resources, absolutely, Facebook will allow you to talk to that audience.
Wow,
It's
that's news actually. I never knew that 13 years old could also make a profile on Facebook.
Yeah, so they used to make it, but they used to declare their age as 18 years previously. But now they are legally allowed to put up their age as 13 or 14 or 15 years. Because Facebook is so widespread, their quarter on quarter reach is only 1%. Absolutely, they are saturated when you are having 1.95 billion accounts. It is also fairly inclusive, or it's fairly diverse, because 44% of accounts on Facebook are that of women. So with these important facts, I must quickly talk about Instagram also. Instagram is a must-have channel in your marketing strategy if you are a brand which has got to do with style, health, fitness, shopping, e-commerce, food. So if you belong to any of these categories, Instagram is a must-have, for the simple fact that after United States, India is the biggest market for Instagram. There are 73 million people signed up on Instagram in India, which is only next to the US. So when we talk about Facebook marketing, I'll spend a few minutes here, and here is where we'll talk about spending the money judiciously. So when we talk about marketing on Facebook, I think very importantly, you must ask your marketing manager, or if you are playing that role of a brand manager, that what is your campaign objective? Are you trying to build awareness? Are you trying to build consideration? Are you trying to get conversations going, or you want conversions to happen where people come and buy your products or visit your store? So basis the objective, you can actually set up your campaign on Facebook. Facebook also allows you to put up ads in a very different fashion. So carousel, single images, videos, slideshows, all of those formats are available to you. A carousel is great when you want to showcase a wide range of your products that you wish to make available to people, because you have a tendency to stop, scroll, watch all the banners, select and buy instead of one banner. So if Karuna is trying to explore the new footwears, carousel ads would be more effective, because she can see 7 to 8 different varieties of footwear inside that ad itself, and she should be able to just pick one, place an order from there. Whereas if you're announcing a sale, if you're saying that this is end of season sale, single image ad would work better. Or if you have a story to narrate where you've done something, you can even have single videos or slideshows. What is very important about Facebook is your ability to micro target your audience. You can target your audience basis variety of parameters like location, demographics, interests, and behaviors, as well as connections. And when we talk about interest, it's very, very deep. At this moment, I wish to quickly hop over to something called Facebook Insights, and I'll talk more about Insights later. So I wish to take you to something here. One second. So are you still able to see my screen?
Yes, Praveen, I can see it. I'm hoping other audiences can see it too.
So it's very simple. Anybody can become a campaign manager on Facebook. All you need to do is to create an advertising account or an campaign manager account on Facebook, which allows you to see such audience insights. So today, as I was saying, India is home to some 300 million people who are using Facebook. And this is how the age factor is divided. But I'm not showing this to tell you that how big is Facebook in India. I'm basically trying to show some of the features of building insights with Facebook. Importantly, Facebook allows you to do very micro targeting also. So let's say if I'm targeting a very small cluster of a geographic region, like, if some of you are familiar with Mumbai, or if I talk about within Noida, I can actually pick up Noida also, but I have a flexibility to even target sector 31 in Noida, and see that how many people are falling into that particular category per se. So when you are building up your ads, you can actually do the micro clustering by picking up a sector, colony, locality, and target accordingly. So for this namesake, I'm picking up a very small town like Tirupati. When I select Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh, it tells me that there are close to 300,000 people from Tirupati signed up on Facebook. If I were to talk about people in the age bracket of 18 to 22, I get a significant chunk of audience again, or let's say I make it 1 second. Yeah. So in this age bracket, there are close to 70,000 people in Tirupati. Imagine that. And when I talk about interest, now this is one of the most interesting features I was talking about. You can go very deep for any of these parameters that you see here. And when I talk about fitness and wellness, food or drinks, hobbies and activities, shopping and fashion, you can get down to any level of depth. For example, when I talk about food and drinks, I can get down to cuisine level things. I can look at people who are interested in Chinese cuisine, French cuisine, German cuisine, Indian cuisine, and the list goes on and on. Within the food, I can target people basis their interest for chocolates, desserts, fast foods, pizzas, seafood, vegan, vegetarianism, etc. When I look at hobbies and activities, I can get down to, again, variety of depths such as art and music, events, home and garden, pets, etc. Now think you are Puma, you wish to target and all the youngsters who are college going in nature, and you wish to only target people who are interested in football, World Cup or FIFA under 17. So I select FIFA U17. Let's see, what do I get? Oh yes, I get a parameter like FIFA under 17. Unfortunately, there are not many people interested in Tirupati, but when I look at FIFA under 17 World Cup interest group, there are close to 250,000 people in India who are interested in this age bracket of 18 to 22 for FIFA alone. So people go and experiment with this. It also gets you some advanced features. So if you wish to target parents who are parents of young children, let's say you are a pre-nursery brand, or you are a brand offering diapers or baby foods, etc. You can target parents who are parents to children of age group of 0 to 12, 0 to 2 years, and so on and so forth. Of course, I'm removing FIFA here because it's a very odd combination, but interest is baby foods. Let's see, yeah, or baby diet. And I widen the age bracket to 18 to 48. There you go. There are 450,000 people in India who are interested in baby food and are parents of children between 0 to 2 years. And it tells me where do they work. So 21% of them work for health and medical services, education, business, finance, etc., etc. So that's the power of micro targeting on Facebook. Anybody, any questions at this stage before I get back to the PowerPoint presentation?
This is quite incredible, Praveen. It is only there available at a cost, or can this be used by anybody?
This can be used by anybody free of cost. All you need to have is your ad account created on Facebook. That again comes without any cost.
So what will be the estimated cost if I have to go for buying an ad, purchasing an ad?
Sure, that's my next segment, and I'm quickly jumping to my deck again.
Sure.
So we spoke about audience targeting here. And like I said, with the combination of some of these factors, you can actually do micro targeting and reach out to the most relevant people. And here is where you start becoming frugal. You don't waste your money to show your ads to those people who are not relevant to you, either geographically, by age, by profession, or any other such parameters. As an organization, to answer your question, Karuna, we have done some experiments ourselves. So my investors are a company called Tribes Communication. Tribes Communication has released a video around social distancing a few days back. You'd be surprised to know, with a amount as low as 337 rupees spent over 2 days alone, we have reached out to some 16,560 people. We have managed to show our video to 1,100 people. Video views were, so through plays means people who saw the video from start to finish. There were 104 clicks that we have received. In all, there were 18,000 engagements that we have been able to get. people reach we have been able to get, and 574 people were engaged. Engagement means people who liked it, saw my video, shared my video, commented on my video, etc. And video views were 6,800 in nature. What did I spend? Just 337 rupees, and my cost per through play was 30 paisa only. Another example, we have around Corona, we have created a small Mythbuster challenge. It's still available on our website of the tech company. Again, we promoted this particular post by spending just 672 rupees over 9 days. What we have been able to get is 3,000 post engagements. 100 people clicked my link, 800 people engaged with my post, and close to some 261 people took this challenge, which is nothing but a simple gamified version of this activity. This was Facebook. But for the same sum of money, I was also able to get before 2,500 people on Instagram alone. Now, isn't it incredible? 672 rupees is hardly a cost, right? But you've been able to get a cumulative effect of reaching out to thousands of people using a combination of Instagram and Facebook, and bit of a money spent in a relevant way. Again, I wish to quickly jump to show something to you. So I mentioned to you that, how did our page benefit from some of these things? So yeah, so this was the ad I was talking to you about. And so this is how the ad manager looks like. Once again, while the page loads, I'll quickly move to the business manager feature of, yeah. So when you do a console like this, you can set up your own budgets. You can do your own stuff. Yeah. So this is how your advertising summary would look like for the money spent over last 60 days, last 30 days, last 7 days. You can see all that analysis. It tells you what reach, links did you get, how did your reach improve, how many people liked your page, etc. All those statistics are available to you, and it's very easy to configure. You don't really need an expert to set up some of these things, but yes, as an organization, we are more than happy to handhold you for some of these things.
Okay, interesting, Praveen. A very fundamental question, if I may ask, if you're done with the
Sure.
segment. I know that there is outreach available to people. There are a lot of people who would view it, get engaged by writing comments or likes, etc. There is a, how do we ensure that there is conversion that can get created from here?
Very good question. See, it's the way you set up the objective of your ad. As I was showing to you earlier, you have to choose the objective of your ad very, very carefully when you're setting up an ad. So when you create your ad, the very first thing that Facebook will ask you is, what is your objective? Are you wanting to boost your post? Are you trying to get more people, or your objective is to get more leads? So when you select target as get more leads, clearly you would be only charged for the number of leads that you are able to get from Facebook. So does that answer your question, Karuna?
Yeah, that's interesting. And also, if you could share more about how can we be much more smarter in creating the objective? Would the language also matter?
So yes, absolutely. The content, the attractiveness of your offer when you're doing a lead generation campaign, the nicety of the banner, all of that matters. But at the same time, how do you select your target audience is equally important. Because if you're showing your ads to somebody who is not relevant to your business, to your product, chances are that your ads are being served to those people who are perhaps not your target audience.
Got it, Praveen. Thank you so much.
Okay, so yeah, I'll move back to the presentation now. So that was about the social media part of it. And since it's a curtain raiser session, people, I'm not getting into depth because this is an ocean and we can go as deep as we want. This was just to tell you that with very little money spent, you can create a lot of impact in terms of getting followers, leads, engagement with your target audience. When we talk about measuring the impact, again, there are various tools available to you using which you can measure the impact of the activities you're doing online. Google Analytics, Facebook Insights, SimilarWeb, Neil Patel, SOZ are some of the most commonly used tools, and there are much more and many more tools beyond this. Again, Google Analytics is something which is free of cost. You don't have to pay anything for that. You can just configure it if you have a Google Gmail ID. I would advise everyone to try it out. Don't attach your credit card. Link one of your website that you may want to create, or just do some trend analysis on Google. You would get to see that, you know, how Google feeds you data about the campaigns you do, about your website pages. It tells you the audience overview, etc. There are tutorials available in the form of videos that are very simple and easy to understand. All it takes is to invest some time into learning some of these things. Likewise for Facebook audience insights, which was I was showing you a while back,
Just
it's free of cost.
interjecting here for a
Sure.
second. People were writing that they wanted to see the previous slide. If you could just kind of showcase it for a second.
This one?
Otherwise, we will be sharing the webinar recordings also. You can
Sure.
look at it later, but just for a second, maybe previous slide.
Yeah, this one or the one before this, Karuna?
One before this.
One before this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me quickly call out the features of, so Google Analytics helps you figure out what's happening on Google. You must try out Google Trends also. It's a very, very interesting tool to tell you that what trends are prevailing in the market right now at a country level, at a age group level, at a gender level. And that will give you some very interesting insights about what people search for on Google. Facebook Insights I have demonstrated to you. SimilarWeb is again a free tool. Of course, there are pro versions available of all of that. A SimilarWeb tool allows you to see the traffic related parameters of any website, All you need to do is to go and type similarweb.com, put up a website name there, and it will tell you that how many people visits that website, where does the traffic come from, how much of that is organic versus inorganic, breakup of that particular traffic by devices, gender. All of that is available to you on SimilarWeb. Neil Patel is something similar. Neil Patel, an Indian brought up in UK, has become the next synonym for SEO and website related matters. So he has his own website, and he again gives you, he has some tools to help you understand how does website functions. And SOZ is similar. It helps you do your search engine optimization better. It talks about keywords and so on and so forth. So that brings me to the last slide of our discussion today. To sum it up, for you to get started with frugal marketing, you got to be keeping a few things in mind. First of all, familiarize yourself with some of these things. Most of these things are free of cost to experiment with. Creating a Facebook page, creating your own Google account doesn't cost you anything. Experiment, test out content, create your own videos, use Canva to build some awesome banners that you can post on your Facebook page. See how it functions, deploy them. When I say deploy, it's just not posting, but see that when I'm posting this, how am I sorting the audience parameters, how much is the cost that I'm likely to incur. With a budget as low as 50 rupees per day, you can get started with Facebook ads or Instagram ads. And when you do this deployment, test out that is it working in your favor or not. If it is working, continue with it, grow with it. If not, do the tweaking, do the changes in parameters to figure out how best it can work for you. And of course, course correct to have the best possible impact of some of these things. If all of these things scares you, we are there to handhold you. We are there to set it up for you and help you fly from there on. So on this note, I thank all of you for being patient and listening to us. We are left with 10 more minutes in this session today. So yeah, over to all of you. Questions, please.
I think actually it's a C, and there is so much to learn in this topic. I must say that 1 hour, of course, is very little time for you to do justice to the entire content, Praveen. So I understand that. A couple of questions that were coming up, if I have to break it in the 4 modules that you covered,
Sure.
specifically on the content creation. Apart from PPT, the tools that you shared were Canva that could be used. So could we create MPG files in that also? There are options like that available.
So Canva is mostly for banners and GIFs as well as videos. So, but yes, there is a limited feature of video available. And but yeah, for video, Canva may not be the best, but for GIF and static images, Canva is the best.
Okay, interesting. The other question that was coming up was on the second section, which is to do with SEO. A lot of people were asking about the questions about what could be an optimum SEO package and possibly some cost ranges. You could share a bit about that.
Certainly. So SEO is a science, as I was mentioning to you, and there are people offering SEOs from as low as 5,000 rupees per month as a service, retainer service, to even 500 rupees, which let's say GoDaddy offers. But I would strongly recommend that first spend some time to understand SEO yourself, and you can get some fundamental understanding about it. And at that stage, you may want to either commission some freelancers or look out for companies who are ad agencies working for this, check out their reviews and ratings, and commission one of them for SEO for yourself. Or if you have appetite and understanding, learn it yourself, do it yourself. You can go to google.com/partners and pick up some of these courses yourself. That's about SEO. I'm reading some of your questions here right now. So from an Adobe standpoint, yes, PPT is definitely easy and it is good to get started with. Here I'm saying that Adobe Spark again is a free tool. So all of these tools comes with some freeware, and then there is a pro version of it which comes with a price. So check out Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark again comes with a wide variety of free to use um, resources such as banners, videos, etc. It allows you to curate banners into a certain size, certain dimensions for certain platforms, and it allows you to create some beautiful PPTs as well. SEO packages, like I mentioned, there are no packages per se, but yes, we are happy to take up those discussions and help you sort it from case to case basis.
So Praveen, sorry,
yeah.
I kind of dropped off, just joined in. Another question was related to Insta, how we could utilize it, and is it good for stuff like online courses, etc.? Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. So Instagram has caught the fancy of millennials and Generation Z. Instagram is, it's absolutely great if you're looking at targeting audience anywhere from 13 years old to 35 kind of an age bracket. If you're a education brand, Insta is good, but Insta in isolation may not solve your purpose. You got to bring in to a certain extent Facebook also into your consideration. And yes, with the combination of Facebook, Google, and Instagram, online courses can definitely be promoted in a certain way. If you have online courses which are video led, I would recommend a YouTube strategy as well. Of course, we didn't touch upon YouTube at all today. So YouTube marketing in itself is a very interesting subject.
Okay, interesting. There were queries related to if we could do something like this specifically on LinkedIn. I think that could be attended to. Also, any pointers related to how we could use Insta for younger generation? What would be the average age group of people on Insta?
Absolutely. So while you were away for a few moments, Karuna, I answered that question, but I'm answering it once again. 13 to 35 is the ideal age group for Instagram. The best part about Instagram is that Instagram ads can be planned from Facebook ad manager itself. So yes, Facebook allows you to run ads on Instagram. I was showing you that example for my companies. We have created a campaign within Facebook, but have projected it on Instagram. You can run ads on Instagram from Facebook itself. As a matter of fact, Facebook also allows you to do the last mile delivery on WhatsApp also. No, it doesn't mean that you are basically blatantly putting across banners on somebody's WhatsApp. That's not what I'm saying. Last mile connect of call to action can be on WhatsApp also through Facebook. To Ankita's question, how would these insights work in normal scenarios where folks don't do micro clustering? What's the natural behavior here? If I can ask Ankita to explain this question, please, a bit more. I'm not very clear about this question.
Ankita, if you could unmute your mic and just speak, that'll help.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the informative session. So what I'm trying to say is that you explained about micro clustering and how we can basically do a better targeting with respect to our audience. But if we don't leverage any of these insights, then what's the natural behavior of a Facebook advertisement?
So the natural behavior would mean that I'm burning my money without knowing who my target audience is. So the general attribute or parameter is I set up an ad for 18 to 65, male and female both, pan India, and I'm not picking up any interest attributes. So your ad is being shown randomly to anybody in that age bracket. That's like taking up a newspaper ad or a outdoor hoarding. So depending who your target audience is, you can do a fine tuning to reduce or widen your targeting.
Right. That could be a disaster.
Yep. And that you'll end up burning a lot of money.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think that also answers Pooja's question that what's the good budget for FB campaign for online education company. Well, it's a very specific ask, but Pooja, let's say if your cost of acquisition is something which you could keep as a as a benchmark, that would be a good strategy to decide your budget. For example, let's say a, a course on your portal costs, hypothetically speaking, 10,000 rupees for a student. You have to decide that can I invest 10% or 5% or 1% of that budget to acquire a customer. That would be your good budget for FB campaign. With that as a benchmark, you should also plan in a fashion that yes, I run a campaign for 2 to 3 days. I see the results. I check out what's working, what's not working. I change further and proceed along. No, Facebook accounts are not chargeable. I'm just reading through the questions in the chat window. Pooja is asking also, I have seen a conversion of less than 5% of FB in terms of leads generation. Then why should one choose FB? Again, Pooja, I don't know what were your targeting parameters and criteria. Happy to have an offline discussion with you to further understand that how do you set up your campaign? What was your campaign objective? Like I said, it's targeting plus the attractiveness of your creatives and offers, plus it's also to do with your product. In combination, the results are derived from any such campaigns you do online.
So there is a very specific question, Praveen, by Sudhir. He's talking about expanding his company's presence in internationally and
Yes.
using WhatsApp for marketing. So any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. So going international, of course, internet is your gateway to going international. 3 or 4 important tips that I would wish to leave with you. First and foremost, you got to be ensuring that your SEO is making you discoverable to your businesses or target audiences outside India. If your website doesn't state that you're catering to a specific country, a specific market, a specific industry, chances are that you're missing out on those audience. So if you're exporting to Indonesia or Philippines, you must categorically say that you are servicing to those markets, to those cities, etc. That's your first step to do something like that. Secondly, when you are moving in the paid marketing zone, you got to be ensuring that you select geographies that are your relevant international target markets. So accordingly, Google or Facebook, or for that matter, LinkedIn, will start serving your ads to those countries and to those target audience, though your business is in India. And lastly, ensuring that your domain, that name that you're taking, is something which is neutral, because if your domain is .in extension, chances are that somewhere in organic you are not featuring for any such international searches. So these are 3 to 4 things I thought I would leave with you as thoughts, but like I said, happy to guide you further should you need any further help.
Okay, I think we're already done with time. If anybody has maybe 1 or 2 more questions, we could take that, Praveen, maybe a couple of more minutes.
Yeah, certainly.
So if anybody has a question, maybe you can type it or unmute your mic and just speak.
So Shikha, yes, LinkedIn and YouTube we left out completely. LinkedIn definitely is a very interesting, but since it's pure play B2B in nature, we would host a separate session on LinkedIn marketing some other day. But LinkedIn is a similar platform. If your target audiences are people in the corporate world, if you're targeting businesses, LinkedIn is rather a much desirable platform to opt for if you're targeting those kind of an audience. Chandrasekhar's question is for LinkedIn, please suggest should we accept all, not, or, and I think you're talking about connection request. Well, it's your individual choice. You may choose not to connect or connect, but look at it from a perspective that wider your base is, the better it is if you're trying to promote something. WhatsApp for marketing, yes, WhatsApp for business is available, Sudhir. And WhatsApp for marketing is only available for transactional messaging as yet, which means that I cannot do promotional messages. So if you book your ticket through Book My Show, they can potentially send you tickets through WhatsApp channel, or a Make My Trip would do that. So WhatsApp for marketing is available for that. Secondly, when you're running campaigns on Facebook and when you want to create a call to action where somebody can contact you on WhatsApp as a business, So WhatsApp for marketing is even available through Instagram and Facebook channel. WhatsApp groups are not commercial in nature. It is largely meant to create your own user groups for your community, customers, etc. But there is a limit to that. There are only, I think, 236 or something you can add as a member. If you wish to run such large communities, I would recommend you hop on to Telegram. Telegram any day is a better one. It allows thousands of people to join your channel. It allows you to share a lot of data. Files running into GBs can be shared on Telegram. So yes, if you're trying to create such closed user group, Telegram is definitely working better. Do you do 360-degree digital marketing for brands? What are the details that can be explored? Absolutely, Faisal. We do that right from creating content to taking it social, doing SEO. We do all of that for our brands, and happy to have a separate conversation with you. How good is Facebook for B2B campaigns for lead generation? Well, let me put it this way, that if you have done second level of research about your audience, Ritesh, where you are knowing that such and such person potentially could be on Facebook, yes, you can target them, number one. Number two, Facebook also allows you to target people for their job role, and that's the closest you can get to target people from a B2B perspective, because it does have a function where you can target people based as a job role. But a quick disclaimer here, a lot of people on Facebook do not put up their job titles or industry or company name there. That availability is perhaps 30 to 40% only.
I
So
think power disruption here. I had to log off.
cool, great. So thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate your time this afternoon. Hope you found this session useful. And if you have, kindly come back to our LinkedIn page and give us due comments and feedback. Thank you once again.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Karuna.
much. We'll be in touch with you. We will ask you for your feedback on the workshop as well. And if needed, for more similar workshops, which help you out as well. Thank you so much for your time. And sorry for the interruption that I had to log off.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.